I'll play it.
I'll check it out.
Top 10 NA.
What are we waiting for? Oh, we're waiting on
Yeah.
Nestea. So, all right. So we'll be kicking off this game momentarily. Both players are saying that they're ready, so we'll be hopping into Frost for KingKong versus Nestea. KingKong, a little bit of a mystery.
He's GM, though.
He's been around for a while. He is GM on the North America server, but he's not a guy that we get the luxury of seeing on a day-to-day basis. He's not your Jaedong or your Flash.
Do you know what his rank is on GM?
Top 20.
He's 13th.
Damn.
That is really, really strong.
Skills.
So this guy,
Skills to pay
he's got
the
some
bills.
chops. He's got some chops. Let's get into game, guys. Game number 1 between Nestea and KingKong.
Yoosh. Fancy fade.
It even had the sound effect.
I know, man. Somebody just added that. Spawning the top left-hand corner of Frost. The blue Zerg player representing Team Avant-Garde. He is KingKong. Want to hear a knock-knock joke that my sister made up when she was a little kid?
Sure.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
KingKong.
KingKong who?
You must be KingKong. My sister made that joke when she was like 4. She was very proud of that joke. We would say, I had this little book of jokes, and I would tell her jokes, and she'd like, Ben, I made up a joke. I was like, what is it? She's knock knock. Who's there? KingKong. KingKong who? You must be KingKong. I was like, I just kind of smile, and walk away slowly. She's a special child, that one. Got an early pull out of KingKong. His opponent down in the bottom left-hand corner, also with the early pull, is Incredible Miracles Nestea.
All right. Both of them doing 10-10-10. Similar to, well, exactly what we saw last game.
Yep, with double extractor tricks, which is not what we saw.
Nestea. Oh, actually, both of them did this. Never mind. Forget it, guys. Okay?
Trickiness.
Everybody needs to relax.
Trickiness indeed. Could be banelings, could be speedlings. I think in this kind of a situation, the speedling variation might be a little bit better.
But it's going to be
We'll
banelings.
see.
I'm going to say
Probably.
banelings for both of them.
Probably will be.
Because they're like, oh, it's first game, 4-player map. This guy's going hatch first. I'm going to crush him with some
The funny
banelings."
thing is these overlords are looking for other overlords, so there's a good chance that they'll all run in crazy directions. See, KingKong's second overlord is going to be hidden
Oh,
to try and disguise his position.
tricky pants.
And Nestea's actually going to spot KingKong first. This is going to work against KingKong. There's no telling which way he's going to run with these units. Both players mining more than 50 gas before starting a baneling nest. Andre,
Is it going to be double metabolic
I
boost?
think it's going to be speed versus speed.
Oh, my God.
And that's exactly what it is.
Apparently, I don't know ZVZ at all, Ben.
You know, we had an argument about early pool speedling builds once upon a time.
Yeah. I said it was
You got very mad at me.
because you used it as your standard,
I was like,
Ben.
Andre, 9 pool speed's really good. And you're like, you just keep going 9 pool speed and see how far that gets you.
Ben, when you're using it every single build.
According to Nestea,
we have to have a
this
talk.
9 pool speed would have gotten me 3 GSL championships.
Does he do it every single game, Ben?
He does it every single game 1 that we've seen today.
That's true. I cannot say any different. Oh, man, Nestea. What have you done? Oh, wait, did he say? Did
Wait
he
a
see
second.
You saw it, right? Yeah, you saw,
he saw
the
the
creep.
creep.
Okay.
Okay, he's just clearing towers. Keeping his
Okay.
opponent in the dark. Unfortunately for Nestea, it looks like he's going to return to droning. KingKong is hiding his intentions. And, you know, he has no idea where Nestea is. But he's going to have a lot of links.
He thinks they're in cross position, I think. Because he's like, I should have seen an Overlord by now.
These are going to run out, and they're going to run
Okay. That might
under
be
an
the
Overlord.
indicator.
And will that give it away?
Oh,
It
please.
doesn't look like it will.
I love this. Zerglings all the way on the side. They're like gonna back attack.
Yep, there's going to be a big counter.
And,
Oh, and KingKong's figured it out. Oh, dear. I don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be nuts. Nestea needs to send his lings into the main base. That's exactly not what's happening. KingKong's going to come crashing into the ramp of Nestea. There is a queen there doing her best to aid in this defense, and maybe it's going to be enough. It's insane. Queens are so good in these kinds of fights. She's got 3 kills already, and she continues to hammer away at these lings. Nestea just rallying his reinforcements to the ramp. He's going to hold, man.
Zerglings are pushing in, killing the queen.
Oh, this is going to be huge. If that queen goes down, Nestea's going to have a huge larva advantage, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Nestea's held for now, but more reinforcements are streaming in, and this is bad news. He's going to have to run back to the ramp, and he loses his own queen, so that means no larva advantage, in fact, for Nestea, but he's not going to die. That's the good news.
Spine crawler exists, though. That's so important. Income tab showing 11 harvesters to 12, so as you said, both of them pretty even here. Actually, the inject helps out so much. He was able to get one last, Jig was able to get one last inject before that queen went down, whereas Nestea did not, so he will have a little bit more larva, but still, as it stands, it's looking like a ever so slight advantage for Nestea. The advantage comes in the spine crawler, but that's it. That's it.
The spine crawler and one drone to the advantage of Nestea. He's also producing drones. So too is KingKong, though.
3 at a time.
Because he had that extra larva, he's going to jump out to a small lead for the time being. So
it's pretty even. It's pretty even at this point.
Nestea's going to follow this up with a baneling attack.
Kind of crazy. But he sees that there's no further hatcheries, so he's like, okay, there's no need to really...
You're on one base. I'm on one base. We're on one base together.
He needs to go down the ramp, too.
There's the baneling nest for KingKong.
So, things are
stagnating. As these two players both have to continue to feel each other out. Nestea's going to start making more lings now, and he'll no doubt want to hide those for as long as he can.
Queen's just going to poke a little bit. Has to be careful. It doesn't get too far out. Of course, he can be surrounded and killed.
Cute little control from Jig. Or not Jig, KingKong. Yeah, Nestea's actually going to reveal a baneling.
Love that. Just a single baneling, enough to just push down the ramp. He's going to overwhelm his opponent. Income tab showing 20 harvesters to 17, so there is that advantage there. Army tab, pretty sizable advantage for Nestea. 925 to 500. 675 now.
But KingKong's got a lot of lings that are about to hatch. And what is going to happen now? Baneling's morphing on the top of the ramp for KingKong, so Nestea's probably not going to be able to push up into that. We're just going to see Nestea expanding here. He is trying to morph more banelings. He will continue with this pressure for a little while, but unlikely that he's actually going to deal much damage. First real micro battle's about to unfold. Oh! 2 banelings for 3 is an excellent trade. And one that every Zerg player should be willing to make.
Okay, KingKong doing a good job. Kills another baneling.
That's great micro from KingKong thus far. He's definitely getting the better of these ling baneling engagements. Nestea is going to continue to be a little bit sloppy, but finally gets a reasonable trade. Regardless, there is no hope of busting up this ramp. Not the way KingKong's been microing, and Nestea is actually realizing this. He's droning behind it. I don't like the way Nestea's been expending these banelings.
No, definitely not the most efficient, but his hatchery is almost finished. And now KingKong pretty much has to be, I wouldn't say all in, but very, very pressure focused. He needs to do a little bit of damage here, because if he lets his opponent just take his expansion, that's, you know, a good 80 seconds where he's mining and his opponent is not. So KingKong absolutely has to do some sort of economic damage here, whether it's in units, in army, or it's in drones. Something needs to get done, else Nestea will just walk away into mid-game with an advantage. And if you ask me what's the percentage of times Nestea will be ahead, I would say 90% he's going to be defending this.
Yeah, I like his position quite a bit. He's got the spine crawler. He's got the he's got 2 queens out. He's injecting in his natural. He's got banelings morphed already in his natural. It's going to be very difficult for KingKong to be effective with an attack. It looks like he's going to try, though, while double expanding. And interesting.
Really smart, by the way, to go Roach Warren directly after this, because he's just using his advantage and putting a time on the window where KingKong can actually do something.
Oh, dangerous game being played by both these players. KingKong continuing to trade very well with his Zerglings for the banelings of Nestea. Nestea needs some defensive units. He is making 7 roaches. If those roaches manage to spawn, he's going to be absolutely safe. It looks like they will manage to spawn. KingKong is in droning mode right now. 5 drones on the production tab. Both these new hatcheries are going to finish up. And he's actually closed the gap very nicely on the back of that little poke.
He has. Income tab, obviously 36 to 34, but the army tab is going to get out of control. Of course, Roach is so good. The problem is, does he know to attack or not, right? There could be a scenario where he just does not attack, uses it as just getting a 3rd base, but it looks like he's going to push out here and say, let's end the game. Or at least let's put pressure on you and see where
He's going to make a big roach baneling attack, and this could be brutally effective. KingKong is frantically throwing down spine crawlers. Will they finish in time? I think they might, Andre. These roaches are not very fast, and Nestea's probably going to wait until his banelings have finished morphing before he commits to an attack. So with these spines in position, and KingKong could even throw down another Evo chamber in this wall if you wanted to further complicate things.
No.
Nestea's going to go straight forward, not waiting at all. Baneling's going to come out to try and buy a little bit more time. Nestea realizing that this is the moment, strike now or never. Cancels one spine, but 3 are going to finish.
And look just below that ramp how many units are gaggled over there. That is so absurd. Even the roaches popping out here will not be enough. Banelings just shooting in, trying to kill that spine crawler, or the 2 spine crawlers.
If they can connect with both of them, they're going to kill them both at the same time. That's a good splash, and once more on the drones.
Okay.
Actually, I think Nestea might have been better off using that on the roaches, but he didn't. And as a result of that, KingKong's actually going to muster a little bit of a defense here. It was not a free defense. He's lost a lot of drones, 12 workers going down. And there are still Zerglings alive. By the way, that 3rd expansion was canceled.
Yes. 35 Harvesters to 20 in favor of Nestea at this point. He's the one that hasn't gotten the lair just yet. You can see a Glial Reconstitution already being thrown down for KingKong. But Nestea, obviously, just gigantically ahead. He's going to macro up and just get more and more ahead with his roach count.
Yeah, things are looking great for Nestea. He's got everything going for him. The worker count is obviously the biggest deal, but his layer is finishing up. He's getting his +1 ranged attack upgrade. Actually, Glial Reconstitution already on the way for KingKong. If only he had an upgrade, he'd be he'd have something going for him. As it stands, he's got no real advantage. Nestea's even taking a 3rd base. Look at the audacity of this player. KingKong is droning, Andre. He's going to try to bounce back economically. Not going to go for one final all-in.
And I like this.
To end the game.
He's actually moving on the field. This might seem crazy, but I think you want to use your Glial Reconstitution. If you just macro, you're dead. And he has to ask himself, what is my advantage? If anything, it's going to be I get the lair instead of getting the big attack, right? So use your Glial Reconstitution. It's going to be up for maybe, 60 seconds or so, 50 seconds.
Yeah, it's about exactly 50 seconds that he has it, which probably isn't enough time for him to get much mileage out of it. And we just see that he has pulled back.
But he needs something. He can't just sit here, because if he sits here, he's dead. Like 100% of the time, he's gonna. I shouldn't say that. I gotta stop saying absolutes. But
$1,000 on 100 to 1. One thing that KingKong has done is he's closed the drone gap, Andre. And while Nestea secured an extra base, KingKong is actually mining more resources right now. So he's in an okay spot to make something happen off of 2 bases, actually dropping the 3rd right now. So this might not be all bad for KingKong. He's got no real advantages, but at least he's able to keep up with his production for a little while. Nestea has not saturated this 3rd base yet. He's just sending 8 drones down. Actually right now. Oh, this is nice though. 3rd expansion was canceled by the speedlings of Nestea, managing to slow down any catch-up attempts just a little bit more.
I mean, the game's going to play itself out a little bit here, or a lot of bit here, because of how KingKong is choosing to play this out. If he's just going macro, all Nestea knows he has to do is macro up, get roaches, attack, maybe at +2 attack, right? He's just looking for a timing, +2 finishes. Okay, that's a good time to go because I know I'm going to have more roaches. And at the very worst, I have upgrade equality. At the very best, I'm 2-0 against 1-0 or 1-1. So this is a position where I think
KingKong, you're playing a dangerous game. He's going to attack into a much larger army with better upgrades at that. And, of course...
Right? It doesn't make sense to do this attack when you're not willing to do the attack with Glial Reconstitution when it just finishes. So, KingKong not really putting everything together. 154 supply to 115.
This is going to be tough. Nestea's pushing forward with a lot of roaches. And this could be a game-ending attack. KingKong is flanking this from 2 sides. At the same time, Nestea sends his lings into that 3rd base. Great multitasking out of Nestea. A lot of roaches against a lot of roaches. KingKong may defend this. It's going to be close, but the roach count looks like it is too high for Nestea. A couple of transfusions are going to go down, but they're going to be a bit too late. Gut game gets called, and Incredible Miracles Nestea showing us that he's still got the stuff that it takes to